Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Sunday show. I just realized I totally forgot to change my background out. That is unfortunate because this kind of clashes with my shirt. So we're just going to do it now because why not? That's the life that we're living. We're living in this free world and we could change our backgrounds if we want to. So guys, I want to ask you, how has your week been? Has anything new or interesting happened? I know nobody's here right now. It's just me and the spider. We're here together.
Spider, yes, yes.
The spider
Yes.
or the doctor.
Yes.
Arachnus Deathicus. I love that movie. That is one of my favorite movies. I think it's such an underrated movie. Oh, we're talking about Megamind. It is such an underrated movie. I absolutely love that movie. And I think it's such a touching, sweet story, but I love the romance aspect of it as well. There's so many different themes and messages in that story, and it's so underrated. But
It's definitely got some a lot of transformation, a lot of how you're responsible for who you are, and that you can change. And there's a lot to it. It's pretty in depth. On the surface, it's just really fun to watch too.
yeah, it's definitely fun to watch. It's very funny. It's very it's a fast-paced movie, but the overarching themes are definitely don't judge a book by its cover. Absolutely, you can change your life. You're in charge of your destiny. Nobody can decide who you are but you. It's honestly a really good movie to watch if you were like a jerk to somebody and you feel bad and you're trying to find a way to feel good about yourself or redeem yourself. But it's also very romantic. I love the romantic aspect of the movie, and I think that the romance is amazing and so cute, but it's just a really worthwhile movie. So I just want to welcome everybody to the stream. So far I see one person is here. um Maybe two people are here. So I can't read the comments. I'm just seeing them pop up on my over here on this side. I can see them, but they just look like little squiggles to me. I can't read them.
I'm working on it right now. Remember, there's a delay, so
Oh
currently
yes.
I don't see I don't see anything.
That's right, guys. We do have a bit of a delay. So here's what I want to say just while wait for everything to catch up. My name is Jennifer, professional psychic. I've been in the business for over 20 years. I can't believe I can say over 20 years. That's so crazy. So I've been a professional psychic for such a long time. I love what I do. And I have two shows a week. I have a Monday show. I have to take this out of my ear because it's driving me crazy. I have one in each ear. I'm a weird person. I can't have two headphones in at once. I am so used to just having one in that when two are in, it just feels weird to me. So I'm a professional psychic. I've been doing this for 20 years. I have two shows a week on Wednesdays. It's more of a thematic show. We have a meditation. It's a little bit shorter. And then on Sunday, it's kind of a free-for-all. We just check in, see how we're doing, do some fun pick-a cards, some giveaways, and talk about various topics. Who knows where it's going to go. And I just want to welcome you guys to the show and say hi. How you doing? Welcome. Sorry that we had to start later. Usually we start these at 9, but this week we had to go a little later because I had some inclement weather in my area and I just had to postpone. So sorry about it. But I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week, or have had a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend since we last saw each other on Wednesday. So I have the doctor here with me. Hopefully I remember his effing name because I keep screwing it up. So I'll get it eventually. We have the doctor here and he is here to not answer, but to read your comments. You can answer them too if you want to, but to read your comments so you can introduce yourself, doctor.
Good evening from a quiet little studio in the back of a cat box in Southern California.
And I'm inside a box in the south in Georgia. So we're both in boxes.
You're
Let
getting
us out.
inclement weather while I'm getting, it's come to conclusion, I think, here. We have two seasons, winter and August, or is it the other way around? Past days have been absolutely cold, maybe reaching 58. I know for a lot of people that's not cold. Nighttime's been 30 degrees. Today we hit like 82 suddenly. It's like, oh, suddenly it's summer.
That's pretty much how it is here in the South. We do have a cold. It's basically hot most of the time, from like what is considered springtime, which is like April, to like I want to say December. It's very 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 hot, and then January and February are like really cold, and not cold, but like 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 30 degrees, around there. And then we go right back to the heat. There's not really a lot of like fall and spring weather. It's usually really hot or really cold, which kind of stinks, or very, very rainy. It rains a lot here over the summer. We have a rainy season. So that is living in the South. Lots of humidity. How is the weather where you guys are? I know it's kind of a random question, but you don't have to say where you're living if you don't feel comfortable because it is the internet. I'm just a risk taker, obviously, so is the doctor. We're risk takers. But if you guys want to tell us how your weather is, how your weekend is, and I also wanted to talk to you guys about something. For anybody who was tuned into Wednesday's show, it was all about manifestation and money loves you and how to develop a good relationship with money. And so we did a really in-depth reading about it, and I am going to put that up on my channel as like a separate little thing so you can just watch that reading. That's going to go up very soon. But if you want to watch the actual whole show, you can. It's right on my channel. The other thing that we did was I asked you guys to play a game with me, and I asked you guys to manifest unicorns in your life and see how many unicorns that you saw since Wednesday. And I'm just curious if any of you played that game and manifested unicorns in your life, and if so, how many unicorns did you see? I saw 4 unicorns since Wednesday. And when I say manifesting unicorns, you're sending out a signal to the universe like, hey, I want to see some unicorns, and unicorns will magically cross your path without realizing it. So I saw 4 unicorns, and I saw one today, which is funny. But I was curious if you guys played that game with me, and if you saw unicorns, how many unicorns you saw. And for me, it was like in random ways. Like I was watching a video and the little girl had pajamas with had a unicorn on it. I heard about a story about a little dog who loved a unicorn toy. I had watched another video where somebody had a unicorn on their bed, and there was one more unicorn, and I don't remember where that unicorn came from. But like just random things like that just pop up, and that's the power of manifestation. But we're not really here to talk about that tonight. I'm just curious, as just an update, if anybody saw unicorns, and you can let me know if there's any comments that I need to know about.
Brianna is pointing out that in Pennsylvania, if you don't like the weather, you just need to wait about 10 minutes.
Ooh.
I agree with that. At certain times of the year, yeah, I was in school out in south of Philadelphia at one point in time. Currently, it's rainy and windy where she's at. Jennifer's reporting in it's sunny and 75.
Ooh.
Regarding unicorns, Diana put up a picture of one. I was going to ask what that was about, so thank you for the clarity on that one. Diana saw a lot of unicorns. They're in style now, though. And Diana was pointing out that storms are passing through southern Georgia right now. So I think we're all can concur. It's raining where you're at.
Yeah, it's definitely raining. We all want to be where Jen is. 75 degrees and sunny. That is perfect weather. So let's start out the show with our first giveaway. It's time. We're going to do a couple of giveaways throughout the show. So if you don't win on the first one, then you will win on another future one. And you guys watch out for Brianna because she's really good at winning these. So just hold on to your hats. She's the girl to beat. Jennifer's also really good at winning these too. So she's another girl to beat. So here we go, guys. I have a tarot card right here. This is from the Rider-Waite deck. I'm not crazy about this deck, you guys. I don't even know why. I have 2 of these decks. Why do I have 2 of these decks? I have no idea. I don't even like these cards, but whatever. They're here. We're using them. So I have a tarot card in my possession right here. The first person who correctly identifies this tarot card is going to win 10 minutes free with me. So I'm looking at the card now. I'm projecting the image to you guys. The first person who correctly answers that is going to win 10 minutes. You have to be over 18. You have to subscribe to this channel. And you have to be in the United States. Them's the rules. Them's the breaks. So let's see who's going to win this one. I'm very curious. So I want to talk to you guys about the full moon. Tonight is the full moon. This is it. And so, was it tonight or was it last night? I think it's tonight. I'm so confused. I think it's tonight. It says it was the 28th. So pardon me if it was last night. What?
It is the 28th. Full moon tonight.
Yeah, so full moon tonight, guys. I always get confused. I always get mixed up on like, is it the 27th going into the 28th or the 28th going into the 29th? I don't know. It's confusing. But a full moon is a great time to do certain things. Great time to cleanse your crystals. If you guys have any crystals or charms or talismans or anything like that, this is a wonderful time to cleanse them. So what you want to do is you can do a couple of different things. You can leave them out in the moonlight and just let the moonlight bathe them. If you're not in a situation where you can just leave them out in your backyard, then what you can do is put them in a windowsill or like anywhere where the moonlight is going to get them. Another thing that you can do is you can put them in water and sea salt. So obviously certain things are not going to, you don't want to do that to anything that's super delicate or super fancy. But like a regular old crystal or something, you can put that in some sea salt and water and let it cleanse in the moonlight. It gives it an extra cleanse because as we use our crystals and things, let me get my crystals. As we use our crystals and things, they absorb our energy and they absorb whatever we're feeling. So especially if you're somebody who likes to meditate with your crystals, if you like to have crystals around your house just in general, they're going to pick up on whatever energy, especially a crystal like, amethyst. This is like a protective crystal, black tourmaline, even these white quartz crystals. These are all like cleansing crystals and they help you to get rid of negative energy, to repel negative energy. They deal with stress and stuff. So they kind of absorb that energy. So you want to go ahead and clean your crystals every so often. Just like your makeup brushes that you use if you guys wear makeup. You want to clean those every so often or else you're going to have problems. So that is definitely something that you absolutely want to do. Another thing that you can do is you can clean your tarot cards. So what you can do is you can take your tarot card deck and you could put it in the moonlight. I wouldn't suggest bathing it in salt water or salt or anything. I mean, you can if you want to, but I don't think that's going to be very good for the cards. But you can just put it in where it's going to come in contact with that moonlight. The moon is also about, getting in touch with your emotions, getting in touch with your subconscious. The moon is kind of a very important aspect in all of our life. It represents our emotional side, our depth, our inner side, our subconscious. The moon controls all the water on the planet, and we are primarily made of water. So you can imagine what kind of effect the moon has on us. And so when the moon is full and the tides are high, our emotions are going to be more high. This is a great time to journal. This is a great time to think about what you want to release and let go of. When the new moon happens, so it's like a new moon, then it builds up to the full moon, and then it goes back down to the void moon. It's like a little arch. That's how it works. So in the time of the new moon, that's where you want to focus on like what you want to bring into your life and what you want to manifest and what you want to kind of get going and make your intentions. And that happens during that time of the new moon, and that's what you want to attract and what you want to bring in. Well, when the full moon happens, that's about kind of culminating that, but then also getting into the state of releasing and what you want to let go of, your fears, your insecurities, your stress, that kind of thing. So this in particular is an Aries moon. Each moon is going to have its own energy. So before last month, we talked about the Pisces moon. If any of you guys were here for us with that. And the Pisces moon was all about getting in touch with your emotions. It was all about, being in that state of dreaming and getting your dreams, thinking about what you want and focusing on fantasizing about your life. It was getting into that headspace. Well, the Aries moon is like, we're here. Let's do this. So the Aries moon is about getting that energy and momentum and actually taking action, making things happen. Of course, you want to take the Aries initiative and make your mark and start making some actions toward the life that you want and your goals, but you just also want to be a little tempered. Aries energy can be a little intense. You don't want to go too hard and get in arguments or leap before you look. Aries can be a little impulsive. We have that in us. I am somebody who always says yes and then asks questions later. Like, oh wait, what are we doing? So just don't, or sometimes I say no and then I regret saying no. Either way, I get impulsive. I make decisions before I really think about it sometimes, and that's not always a good thing. So do we have a winner for our first giveaway? Doctor, did I lose you?
Sorry, I was multitasking, and obviously I failed at one of them. We do have a winner. Jennifer Layton won the first 10-minute reading, first part of the contest this evening. Yes, the Fool. So congratulations, Jennifer.
Wow, Jennifer, congratulations. I knew you were one of the girls to beat, so congratulations. Look how funky this card looks because of the green screen. But yeah, there you go. You won the first giveaway of Le Fool. So congratulations. And it's funny that we're talking about Aries energy because the Fool can be representative of this Aries energy. It's like kind of leaping before you look and going ahead and not really taking time and thinking about things. So you want to use the initiative, the power, the energy of that Aries energy to give yourself momentum to make these decisions. But you want to make sure that they're thought out, decisive, logical decisions. So it all kind of comes together. So I wanted to say that if anybody has any pick a card readings that they want me to do, then I would definitely say you guys can totally suggest those and pull it together, and I will do that. But I thought we'd start out, since we're talking about the moon and it is a full moon, we would do a nice full moon reading. Where are my full moon cards? Here they are. I was not feeling the 100% best right before this show. And I was definitely feeling a little off, but now I'm feeling better. I think it's because I got some coffee in my system. I didn't have caffeine at all today. And I think I'm just I'm an addict, so I need to have some of it in order to function. And I didn't have any caffeine all day. So, no, I shouldn't say I'm an addict. I have 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day. I don't think that's an addict. Is that an addict? What do you guys think? 1 to 2 coffees a day? Is that an addiction? Or is that just a habit? Also, curious, me being curious, how old were you guys, if you do drink coffee, how old were you guys when you started to drink coffee? What was the age where you were just you know what? I like this stuff.
It was in my bottle when I was being fed. I'm pretty sure of it.
Are you serious? Or are you just being facetious?
I wasn't allowed to have coffee. I think I started when I was 18.
Wow.
And 18 or 19. And, if I stopped drinking coffee, Starbucks closes stores. So when you see that happening, I cut back.
So, yeah, I love coffee. I have such an affinity for coffee. But I started drinking coffee, you guys, at a very young age. I was 4. My parents, my mom, I was an extremely picky eater. And for whatever reason, I always, when I was little, I wanted to be like an adult. Everything I did when I was little, I was trying to be as mature as I could possibly be. So of course, if everybody else around me was drinking coffee, I wanted to drink coffee too. And they gave it to me. And I was just all right, let's do this. So I remember getting ready to go to kindergarten in the morning and getting dressed and everything and having my little breakfast, and it would be toast and jam or eggs or whatever I had. I don't remember that part. but I always had like a cup of coffee. And not just my parents, all my relatives did this. All my grandparents, aunts, uncles, they all served me coffee. What the hell were they thinking? I would never give a child coffee. I mean, the last thing that any kid needs is caffeine. But they gave it to me. My mom said that she gave it to me because when I was little, I never wanted to drink milk. I just couldn't stand the taste of it. And so she thought that if I had coffee and she could put milk in it, that was a way to get milk into my system. But yeah, so that's my coffee story. But yeah, I have 1 to 2 cups a day. I usually don't have more than that. The only time I would have more than that is like if I'm trying to like really pull some kind of crazy all-nighter or something, but generally 1 to 2 cups. So let's do and I'm curious what you guys, what you guys feel about that, because that's, I think, an interesting topic. So we're going to do excuse me, I apologize.
I always get to, I was quiet.
You were, I know, but I just thought I thought you needed something.
Oh, where's your cell phone? Like your non-psychic phone.
My non-psychic one? I don't remember. Oh, I think it might
That's
be.
not it?
No.
Oh, good, because I need a code. For some reason, I sent it to your phone instead of mine.
Oh, okay. She needs a code. I think it should be in that red and black bag. Did you get it?
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't have a pin or anything, so you
Uh-oh.
should be able to get it. Sorry. She needed a code. It's just one of those days, guys.
Code. Keep to the code. Hey, while you're still shuffling, wanted to give a few shout-outs.
Yeah.
Brianna doesn't remember when she started drinking coffee. B, started drinking coffee around 15 to 16 years of age. Welcome. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? And she
Aw.
also had a message. She's trying to contact you through Instagram and having some difficulty, so may have to figure another way. Or
Wait,
pass
I'm so sorry.
information.
Who's trying to contact me through Instagram?
You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I will get with you after the show because I'll get with you after the show. I will get with you after the show. I'm so sorry if we're missing each other, but I will find you. I'll make sure that it happens because I remember you did win a reading. So, we'll take care of that. I apologize that there was a miscommunication. For some reason, I didn't see your message or your notification. So, I'll get it taken care of. Don't worry about that. But I'm so sorry. Were there any other comments? I didn't want to cut you off, Doctor.
No, just, ages of drinking coffee varies from middle school to age 15, 16. Well, I guess that's middle school.
Yeah.
11 for, Diana pointed out that 11 for a Latin family is kind of late. Most start before the age of 1. One thing that I do remember hearing or reading about at some point in life was that in Europe, kids are drinking coffee at age 7, 8, and 9. It's like a staple in the house. It's like a
Really?
it's not an Americano. That's the opposite. But it's like half milk and half coffee. So it's not that big a deal.
I heard that kids in Europe drank wine early. Like they would have wine mixed with water at like an early age, but I didn't know about the coffee. That's very interesting. See, I'm so continental, you guys. I was drinking coffee at 4. Like, I'm a trendsetter.
You and feeling it now, Mr. Krabs, started drinking about the same age. Coffee.
There we go. We could have had a coffee break together. Well, you're probably younger than I am, but either way. In spirit. All right, guys, let's do this reading finally. I've been shuffling these cards for too long. So we're going to do a nice little full moon reading just for the full moon. Ooh. I almost dropped my things. This is going to be kind of a little bit of a full moon reading. It's like what the full moon is going to bring, what message you should focus on. It's just going to be just an open full moon reading. We're just going to see what happens. We're going to get what we get. So this is just going to be one of those things where we just don't know where it's going to go. But I like to harp on this full moon energy because it's fun. So here we go, guys. Here is our Full moon reading, deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. Again, deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. Sorry also for my ratchet nails. I did not have time to do my nails before the show. Hopefully you guys can't see it. Because I know... Ooh. All right, so starting with deck number 1. Ooh, deck number 1. First of all, you got some good cards. You got Full Moon in Aquarius, show the world the real you, which is a really good card. Second one is Be Bold and Make the First Move, Cardinal Moon. So I feel like this is really about you going after what you want and you staking claim on what you want. So this is more about like, it could be about initiating a relationship. Like if there's somebody you have feelings for, maybe this is your chance to make their move. Or it could be about you going after what you want as far as like making a career change or possibly, asking your boss for that raise. And then emotions are running high. So I feel like this is a super moon card, which is funny because we're having a full moon. And by the way, there is going to be a super full moon happening. It's going to happen in April. I want to say April 11th. I was doing research before, but I can't remember. It's sometime in April. I think it's the 11th. There's going to be a super moon, which is just so much good manifesting energy. So make sure that you guys follow this. There's a great app that I like to use on my phone. It's called the Moon Phases app, and it tells you like what moon phase you're in, when the new moon is coming, and all this. And I'm sure there's other apps too, but it gives you like a little idea so you can plan accordingly with your little rituals and your manifestations. So what I'm taking from your reading, deck number 1, is this is your time to shine. Use this Aries energy to give you the courage that you need to make that bold step, declare what you want, and take action. Be willing to put yourself out there a little bit. Don't be shy and be the real you and just say what you want. Sometimes it's hard when we have ideas or we have feelings. It's hard for us to say what we want. We tend to have a shyness about that. Like it's like almost like we're afraid to admit it because when we admit it, we make it real. And then, we're open also to ridicule and, and judgment. But this is your chance to kind of just take that, make it your own, and go for the gusto. Deck number 2. This is your full moon message. Ooh. Okay. So deck number 2. Here I have things. I have so many feelings and so many things to say to you, deck number 2. Here's the first thing that I want to say to you. Please, please, please do not give in to feeling defeated and negative. You are so close to getting what you want, and you're so in line with receiving your goodness, your goals. You're there, and so you're on the right path. Don't veer off the path. Don't give in to negativity, bitterness, sulking. Don't give in to going off that path. So I'm going to give you self-sabotage. Watch out for that. Watch out for, be willing to call yourself on your stuff. If you see yourself breaking your habits, if you see yourself, starting to veer off that path, make sure that you really direct yourself right back on the path. And I feel like this is something that is really something that you need to work on and focus on, especially this week and with your goals, because you're so close to what you want. So I'm going to give you guys an example of this very situation. I will give it to you. Just give me 1 second. So you're so close to achieving your goal. That card looks so funky because of the green screen. And this is the gibbous moon. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly and not looking like an idiot. Second thing is hold your vision. Again, fixed moon. This is you're on your rail. You're doing it. You're so doing it. You're so close. You just got to stick to your goals. And the last thing is don't let pride get in your way. This card is your trouble. Now, pride isn't like I'm too good for this, I'm too good for that. That's not the pride that I'm talking about. The pride that I'm talking about is not allowing yourself to understand and face the facts that you might be making a mistake, that you might be getting off the path, that you might be giving into negative influences. And, we all do that to ourselves. Self-sabotage is a real thing. The closer you get to success, the more you start to freak out. There's something internally that happens to us, especially if you're used to dealing with trauma, stress. I'll give you a perfect example. I was talking to a client today, and his life is going really well. Amazing. Things are really popping for him. And he has had a rough life. Things have been really challenging for him. He has been through the ringer. I've seen this guy at his lowest of lows. And now his life is improving and getting great. But he told me, he's like, you know what? I feel weird. I'm freaking out a little bit. I don't know what to do. I'm like sabotaging myself because I don't know how to handle this. And it's true when you're used to being in a very stressful, traumatic life, and then things start to change and go well, it's almost so unsettling and unnerving because you're not used to that. So even though you're dealing with trauma on a daily basis, or stress or aggravation or whatever on a daily basis, there's comfort in routine. So you're used to it. So when that is taken away and things are clear, then you start to feel this like, oh my God, this is different. This is scary. I don't know how to handle this. And it can scare you. And, if you're not used to it or ready for it or prepared for it, or if you're not honest with yourself, you're going to end up screwing yourself over. And that's why we have such a cyclical life, and that we repeat the same patterns over and over again. I'm going to give you a perfect example of a way that I sabotaged myself recently, and thank God I caught it before it was too late. So I have a habit where I don't journal and stuff as much as I should, and don't do scripting and stuff as much as I should. I get distracted, whatever. So I learned something recently, that if you tie a new habit to an old habit, it will help you to do that habit. So like I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, say if you want to say affirmations every day. And then you say, okay, I'm going to say 3 affirmations while I'm brushing my teeth. You brush your teeth every day. I hope you do. I mean, if you're not, you got to brush your teeth. But if you're not brushing your teeth every day, you should start that. But if you are brushing your teeth every day, tie those affirmations to brushing your teeth. So while you're brushing your teeth, you can think about your affirmations, and then you kind of get into that habit because you're tying a new habit to an old habit. It helps you ease in. So I have this routine where in the morning I spend time with my cats. That's just the thing I do. I spend time with them. I do their litter box. I play with them, and then I go on to the rest of my day. So I thought to myself, I'm going to tie my journaling into spending time with the cats. Because the cats are not on top of me 24/7. There's times when they're doing their own thing. I mean, they're cats. So I thought, I'm going to bring my journal in. I'm going to journal while I spend time with the cats. It's attaching a new habit to an old habit. And I did that, and I did it. And then I noticed today, like, wait, I didn't pick up my journal today. I didn't pick it up today or yesterday. I have it in here. It's there, but I have this new habit, but now I'm not doing it. So I realized, like, that's not good. It's a sabotage. I started this great thing, and now I'm slipping off. So tomorrow I'm committed to go back and start journaling again, and doing my scripting and doing all that stuff, because it's important for a lot of reasons to do journaling and scripting. It helps you understand yourself, it helps you understand your feelings, and it helps you understand what you want. Because sometimes we don't know what we want. Sometimes we do, but sometimes we don't. So that is just my 2 cents. So sorry, deck number 3, I made you wait while I went into my rampage. Not rampage. What did I go into? My ramblings. And Doctor, do we have any comments or anything that I need to know about before I go into deck number 3?
Brianna was commenting that she's enjoying being single at this point in time, and she also made a nice comment that you see all of us at our highs and our lows. Jennifer Layton also agreed with that. Brianna has a daily affirmation, and it is, I am fine. Affirmations are kind of neat. I find that me personally, from experience and with in and around my life, simple affirmations do work over time, but it's a belief in that and making that a habit. As you said, it's a new habit.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents.
I love it. Thank you for contributing. So Affirmations are great as long as you can get behind that affirmation. If you're just saying, I'm the greatest person in the world, I'm the greatest person, and you don't really believe it, it's not going to do nothing for you. I almost cursed and I pulled it back. So it's not going to do anything for you. You have to have a belief in what you're saying, and the words you say are so important. So Brianna, I'm going to call you out, girl, on your affirmation. I really want you to tweak this a little bit. I am fine is a good starting affirmation, but it's also kind of limiting. It's like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And if you need to do that right now to get you to a better place, then that's okay. But at some point, I want you to change that to something that elevates you, because I'm fine can be really good if you're stressed out, if you're overwhelmed, if you're having anxiety. Saying I'm fine is great. Like, I do that myself. If I feel anxiety coming on for whatever reason, I'll sit there and go, okay, I'm fine, I'm okay, it's all good, I'm good, I'm good. It helps. But like, to elevate your life and get yourself to the next level, I want you to think about something else that you can say, like, I am amazing, I got this, I can do amazing things, I am in control of my life. I'm not saying you have to do that right now, because right now I think you need the I am fine. But I'm saying, when you feel ready, elevate it, because if you're fine, then you're just fine. You're not really going to grow, if that makes sense. So deck number 3, I'm sorry you guys had to wait so long. I get very chatty. Deck number 3, what full moon message is in store for you? Oh, okay. Deck number 3, let's talk. Deck number 3, you are like a steel drum. You try to be the tough one. You try to be the strong one. You try to be the one that is there for everybody else. And I feel like a lot of the time you do not tend to your own emotional needs. You are the type of person that if you have an emotion that is negative or unsettling or unhappy, you'll just like swallow it, put it in your stomach, and just pretend it doesn't exist. And I feel like it's almost like you don't feel like you have the right to have emotions. That's bad. And you also don't feel like you have the right to have rest or to have peace. I feel like you're just always trying to keep everything together for everybody else and be strong. And I think that in your life and the things that you've dealt with, being strong was a survival technique. It helped you to get through the day. Being emotional and showing emotion and showing your thoughts and your words was not safe. It was not safe for you. And so that's why you developed this technique. But now you have to know that you're in a safer place and you're able to start opening up and showing those emotions. And it's okay if you're not safe talking to other people, but you have to acknowledge them to yourself. Maybe start doing a journal or going to a therapist. But you don't have to be this stone. You don't have to be this person that's always so like together and has everything together and isn't affected by anything. It's not something that is good for you or healthy for you mentally, emotionally, physically. It's just not healthy for you to be in that kind of zone. And it's really important for you to know that emotions give you peace and freedom. Emotions give you more freedom than holding them in and pretending they're not there, because eventually those emotions come out either in rage or self-sabotage, depression, sometimes physical manifestations. So it's like you can only sweep it under the rug for so long before it's going to come out in a bad way. When I was little, I always use this thing with clients. This is my favorite. I do a lot of anecdotal lessons. If you guys have noticed that, whenever I talk to my clients and whenever I talk to you guys, I tell little stories and stuff, because I feel like sometimes that tells the picture better than like some long-winded explanation. So when I was little, I was at my aunt's house and I was drinking grape juice and I spilled it, of course, because I'm a major klutz, legally blind issues. So I spilled the grape juice. Now, the right thing to do would be to go get her and say, hey, I spilled my grape juice. Sorry about it. Can we clean this up? But that was not what I did. I took a sheet or whatever blanket that I had on me that I was being cozy with, and I covered it over the stain or the spilled grape juice. I just put the blanket over it, and then I just walked away. And eventually, that was my little child mind. eventually she found the grape juice. And I mean, obviously, I'm the only one in the house that's going to drink grape juice. So eventually it came around. And it would have been so much better if I just, went and told her. I mean, I didn't get in trouble or anything. It was not like she just kind of was like, why didn't you tell me? Blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like a trauma. But in that time as a kid, I just thought like, I can't think about this now. We'll just think about this later. But when you do stuff like that on a regular basis, it comes out in a bad way in so many different ways. Like if you have an issue with a friend or somebody, it's better to talk about it, get it on the table, and have that conversation at the moment or in a calm way rather than letting things fester and then blow up at them later on down the line. So many people do that, and then it causes irreparable damage. The pen is mightier than the sword. And, that's a true statement. The tongue is mightier than the sword as well. And sometimes when you say things to people in a rage or in an upset because you've held it in too long, those words, they'll never forget them and they affect them forever. And I remember hurtful things that were said to me 20, 30, 40 years ago. And, I'm sure you guys can remember things that were said to you 30, 40 years ago. So your lesson is to know that you don't have to hold the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to be this strong stone person, and you can still be strong, but you don't have to be made of stone. You need to be okay with sharing and expressing your emotions. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing them with the people that you need to share them with, the family and friends and stuff, then you can share them with a journal. You can share them with a therapist, but it's okay for you to feel emotions. You're in a safe place. And, it's just old learned behavior from the trauma that you endured. So it's balance your spirituality and practicality. And this basically to me just means, understand that you can have both sides. You don't have to be just one or the other. You're not going to be a total mess if you start to allow emotions to come through. Bring love into the situation. I really believe this card is about loving yourself and allowing yourself to be loved. Work on that heart chakra a little bit. And then what do you need to release? Isn't this card gorgeous, you guys? Like, holy cow, that is such a picture. But yeah, what do you need to release? And I think what you need to release is that control over your emotional faucet and be willing to start letting your emotions come through a little bit. I know that it's been a really rough road. So I want you guys to continue to suggest any pick a card readings that you guys have. But I want to do our second giveaway because it's time to do that right now. So we have a card right here. This is the second giveaway of the evening. This is a tarot card. I'm going to look at it right now. I'm looking at it. Okay, so whoever is the first person to correctly guess the card that I'm holding in my hand is going to win 10 minutes free with me to have a personal psychic reading of your very own one-on-one avec moi. So basically you just have to tell me. You can start your engines and start guessing or tuning in on what card that is. First person who gets it correctly is going to win. Got to be 18, got to be from the United States, and you got to subscribe to this channel. I think you guys already know the rules, but just in case, I like to say them. So let the games begin. So I want to ask you guys a very interesting question. I want to ask you guys, when you're in a relationship with somebody, do you think it's appropriate for that person to have friends of the opposite sex? So like if you're in a relationship, obviously with if you're a man and you're in a relationship with a woman, do you feel comfortable with her having other men friends? And if you're a woman in a relationship with a man, do you feel comfortable with him having other women friends? Do you feel like it's possible for a man and a woman to be friends and it's completely platonic? Or do you feel like they should not have any woman friends or man friends if they're, the opposite sex? I'm curious what you guys think about that. It is something that comes up so often in readings, and so frequently couples get in fights over this, break up over this, have insecurities over this. And I really want to know what your thoughts are on this situation. Then we're going to do a fun reading that I think would be enjoyable. So let's get your answers to that. I'm really curious what you guys think about that question. Do you think it's possible? And if you're in a relationship, are you comfortable with your significant other having friends of the opposite sex? Have you had problems with this in the past in relationships? And what do you guys think about this? I want to give you guys my opinion, but I want to wait and see what you guys say first because I'm just curious.
Just to interject, if I can, in the middle of this,
Yes,
we
I
do
was
have
just
a
gonna-
winner.
Oh, good. Who won?
I keep wanting to say Alachek, and I know I'm wrong. Alachek actually won. Alachek 13. She won, and so congratulations.
Congratulations, Alia. Congratulations. Sorry, this card looks so funky. Wait, there we go. See? There we go. You guys can kind of get a sense of what it looks like. So the moon, Alia, you won 10 minutes. Congratulations to you. Thank you for joining us on the stream today. So let me ask you, Spider, how do you feel about this situation? Sorry, doctor. I knew I was going to screw it up. I'm just going to call you whatever I call you. I'm sorry.
Hey, I've been called worse, so I'm good.
All right.
Having opposite sex as friends, I have not seen it as a problem as long as everybody knows who everybody is. However, always check the motives of why they are friends or how long they've been friends. For example, somebody could still hold a torch from a childhood relationship or crush, and you never know if that's going to rear its head, and then it becomes a bone of contention of a what if. So I always ask people, and it's like, oh, okay, so how long have you known him? Oh, we worked together, in the past. His wife is, or it's like, oh, okay, there's a comfort zone. When there's explanations, there's somebody else in the relationship, and there's explanation. But it's just, oh, yeah, we were childhood friends, and, it was a toss-up between him and the other guy, and it's like, oh, there's a flag, because that means that there's still a potential that exists. So, I don't know where that fits into an explanation of my viewpoint, but the short version, I don't see it's a problem as long as all the cards are on the table.
Yeah, I thank you for that. And I have to say, I do agree with you. I don't think that there is a problem with it either. I think that if I, was with somebody and they had a woman that was a friend, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I would definitely feel like there are some parameters. Like if this person is talking to them way more than they're talking to me and they're having this whole interaction that's like, for me, it's about priority. So if you're in a relationship with me, I want to feel like I'm your number one woman. I'm your priority. And then, yeah, have all the friends you want. Go crazy. I'm going to have friends too. If you even want to hang out with your friends, like go crazy. But if I feel like there's a shift of power or a shift of balance, and I feel like that person is more somebody that you're, connecting with. I also agree if the person has a relationship of their own, if I feel like there's a history between the two of you that is like more comfortable. Like if you say like, oh, we dated for 5 years and now we're friends, and she's still the same. I talk to her every day when we wake up and we're always talking on the phone. I would be like, I don't really trust that. I think that there's definitely parameters. I think it can be done. I think men and women can definitely be friends and good friends and not want to be with each other. So I think that there's definitely room for that. And I think that it really is kind of a case by case basis. I don't think that it would be ever something that I would just shut the door on. But I do think that there are going to be some red flags. And I think the biggest red flag is how invested is he in that relationship and how they are together and how he behaves around her. And, I think to a degree also, like, is there a sense where we could be cool with each other as well. Like her and I could possibly get along, or at least be comfortable with each other. If I feel like I'm getting daggers from her, I would want to see where that's coming from. Is it because she just doesn't like me for him and she's being protective? Or is it because she wants to be with him and there's a jealousy issue? And so I would want to know all those things. But I'm curious what you guys have to say about that. I think that these kind of questions are so like important and interesting. And I think that a lot of these things can make or break relationships and make people crazy.
Brianna has been chiming in on this one and pointing out she has guy friends, female friends, gay, lesbian friends. People
Yeah,
are people. And Jennifer Leighton was pointing out it's kind of tough. If there's a solid trust in the partner and both understand what is appropriate in the friendship, then again you have that solid ground, and there shouldn't be a problem. That's my interpretation
yeah.
of the rest.
I agree. I think it's
Um,
so important to be able to have honest communication with your partner and say, hey, this is what I feel comfortable with. What do you feel comfortable with? And have that understanding. And I think so many people don't have those adult conversations because they're afraid of like getting rejected, or they're afraid of starting a fight, or they're afraid of whatever. And it's like, if you have that, you're not in the right relationship.
if I may chime in and just point out, if we're questioning our partner and not sure, that's part of the reason that we're here listening to you on a regular basis, is we're honing our intuitive skills. So if
Yeah.
we're starting to feel something in our stomach that just isn't right and you can't put your finger on, you can either A, walk away. You can also just try to, put into it and say, hey, what's going on? Something doesn't feel right. And if you don't get an explanation that becomes, satisfactory in the way of good communication, then again, you still have that choice to walk away. But I think it's, for us to be able to learn to follow and what our intuition is and how it
Yeah.
works.
You're absolutely right. And I agree. I think that, this show and connecting with you guys, I definitely want you to grow your own intuition. And we all have intuition within us. We all have psychic gifts within us. We have those things, and your own intuition is always going to lead you. Oh, got it, the hiccups. Intuition is always going to lead you in the right direction. And sometimes we don't want to listen to that intuition, but you really in the pit of your stomach, you always know what's going on, and you always, you need to like trust your instincts most of the time. There's some circumstances where people are just, they've been cheated on so much they don't know how to trust, and they've been traumatized. So that may be a situation where maybe you're thinking something's going on when there isn't. But 9 out of 10 times you're going to be right about your feelings. And you got to like really listen to those instincts. And a good relationship is a relationship where you can communicate, where you can say, I really am bothered by this situation, and talk about it with the person. And another thing that I think that people don't always do and communicate with, and this is just going off topic, but it's still kind of connected, is I think a lot of people don't talk about sex and what kind of sex they like, what turns them on, what they're interested in, what they don't like, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and what parameters they have. I think that's another thing that I feel a lot of clients of mine have issues with, is like they're not enjoying sex, and they don't talk about it. They don't say like, I don't like this, or I would like this. And I think that if you're sharing that intimacy with somebody, if you're sharing that space and that connection, like you have to be able to share your opinions about what you like, what you don't like, what's working, what's not working. And I think that people get really uncomfortable and they feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever. But part of that growing as a couple is learning how to communicate with each other and learning how to work with each other. And if you're in a relationship where you don't feel like you can verbalize what you're feeling, you don't feel like you can talk to the person, you don't feel like you can be open and honest about whatever's going on, that's not a good thing. And you got to ask yourself why you don't feel comfortable, and what parameters is it that you don't feel comfortable because you're afraid of how they're going to react. That's not good. If you're not comfortable because you're afraid of your own insecurity and getting rejected, that's not good, but that's something you can kind of work with. And so You never want to be in a relationship with somebody that you can't have an ongoing communication with. Communication is such an important part of a healthy relationship. And even when you're dating somebody, it's really important to be straightforward about, your ideas and what you're looking for and what you're comfortable with. It's hard because when you're on a first date, you don't want to be like, all right, hold on, let me get my list. This is what I expect from you. You need to make sure that you are 15 minutes early whenever you pick me up. You need to make sure that you open the door for me. You need to make sure that you bring me flowers at least once a month. You better not forget my birthday. I mean, you can't do that on a first date because that's a little crazy. But in general, find a way to...
Wait. I need to stop doing that?
Yes. You need to stop doing that. What you need to do is... when you're on a first date, especially with somebody, the best thing to do is ask questions. Hey, what are your dreams? Where do you love to travel to? What are your dreams? What is your favorite memory as a child? What did you want to be when you were little? Things like that open up a dialogue between the two of you. It relaxes the situation. And, you can even ask questions like, what was your favorite TV show when you were a kid? Like, what was your favorite toy? Talk about things that are kind of neutral and just fun to talk about, and that will loosen up the conversation. And then you can say, I really like you. I had a really good time tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not like looking for friends with benefits. I'm kind of looking for a relationship, and that's just my goal, my long-term goal. I don't know if your goal matches up with that. I'm not saying we have to commit to each other today, but that's just the direction that I'm going in. And that's the kind of person I'm looking for. And you only know if you're on the same team or on the same line. I'd like to get to know you more. Be honest about things like that before you have sex with somebody. I know that sex is a very passionate thing, and a lot of times sex, especially first time sex, happens very randomly, and it's just like you're just making out, you're doing that goodnight kiss, and then all of a sudden it's like blah, 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 you're just going for it. But it's important to have a conversation about what you're comfortable with. Like, okay, this is we're gonna have sex. I'm feeling you, you're feeling me. We're gonna do this. This is something that I feel comfortable with. This is the kind of protection that I'm going to use. This is what I'd like you to use. If we have sex, it means that, I care for you. I have feelings for you. It means that, I would like to be exclusive, or I don't care if we're exclusive. But I think that it's good to have some kind of a dialogue before sex, just to get somebody to understand like what page you're on. I think it's really harder to have that conversation after you had sex with somebody. I mean, you can still do it, but it makes it a little more awkward. I think to kind of get stuff off the table, because usually you have an idea of like when you're getting to that point in a relationship where you're ready to have sex with somebody. You kind of know like, okay, we all know like, okay, I hope it happens this time, or, oh, I'm getting ready to have it's going to happen next time. Like we have that idea. So it's a good time around that time to say like, listen, if we become sexual, who knows? We could be, we could not be. Let's see how you play your cards. But if we become sexual, it would mean that I would like us to be exclusive. That would be important to me. Is that okay with you? Do you feel comfortable with that? Or I would like to know what kind of, birth control you use, or, this is what I feel comfortable with. What do you feel comfortable with? You don't have to have super clinical conversation. It could be a little bit more intimate, a little bit more close. But I think if you're willing to communicate confidently and take control of the situation, you're going to notice that people have more respect for you. And you're going to notice that you'll have that, like, you'll go into it feeling better and feeling more safe. What happens is a lot of people just go into it, and then afterwards they're like, oh, I don't know if we're exclusive. I don't know what this means. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what she's thinking, and you just kind of, then you have all these weird, awkward feelings. And I think it's good. It's not always the most like super duper romantic, passionate, spontaneous way to do things. But I think especially for first time kind of sex, I think it's important to set some expectations of like, if we have sex together, I really want you to spend the night. I don't want you to just skate out at 3:00 in the morning, with a note on the table, like it would be important that you spend the night. So if you can't spend the night tonight, let's do this on a night when you can spend the night, because that's something I like. And it's a way to kind of negotiate. You don't want to ever be too demanding, like, you better be spending the night with me if we're having sex. You better not leave. You don't want to be like that, because that's not a good way to be. But, calmly communicate your thoughts and feel. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Have you guys done stuff like this in the past with dating and relationships? And just what are your thoughts on that?
As you conclude your first hour of broadcast, a couple of topics came in from B for some readings for Pick a Card for later evening. What's coming towards you in April? What kind of energy or event? So, interesting. I like that idea. I like that topic.
I like that too.
Kidzu passed a compliment on to me the way I explained something, whatever it was. So thank you very much.
Aww.
And let's see. Brianna like to chime in. Some people talk too much about bedroom time, and I have to agree with her. There is a balance that needs to be had, and trying to figure that out. I think also has to do what you touched on a couple of weeks back, knowing your love language and learning the other person's. I'm pretty sure that will help, for what goes on behind closed doors. So time now, you're 1 hour in. Oh, Diana chimed in. I'm sorry. Always an open door regarding trust. If you have a problem with trust, then it's your problem, not theirs. And that's it. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, here's what I would say. Well, thank you guys for your comments and everything. And thank you for letting me know there's an hour left. And we're going to do that reading about what's coming your way in April. Diana, I have to say, I think that if you don't trust somebody, if you're in a relationship and you don't trust them, it's not always that it's your fault. I mean, sometimes they're just not trustworthy. You have to figure it out. It's not a black and white situation. Like, I have clients that are with guys or girls that don't trust them at all. That they're so like paranoid that they're cheating, or paranoid that they're doing something, or paranoid about whatever. And that is on them. They have what's called an anxious attachment style. When you have an anxious attachment style, you are constantly in fear of being abandoned. You're constantly in fear of being rejected. So you're just not centered and stable. You don't have that inner strength and confidence. You get your confidence from people giving you love or giving you attention. And so if you don't have that, you feel empty and hollow, and you're always paranoid about that going away. So that's an anxious attachment style. So you tend to be very clingy and paranoid and distrustful. And I would say 100% that is on you, and you need to fix that, because it's not good. Nobody wants a clinger. So the other thing that I want to say, though, is sometimes when people don't trust somebody, it's because they're not trustworthy. And I don't think it's good to just be like, well, if you don't trust me, that's on you. Because that's not always the case. There are plenty of people that don't trust people, and they are right not to trust them. They have that instinct, and it's coming from that place inside them that they just know something is wrong. And I think you have to honor that. So it is a balance. It's not a black and white situation. And you have to, if you're with a partner and you don't trust them, you got to ask yourself, A, is this because of past relationships? Am I putting something on them from the past? B, have they done anything to prove to me that they've been distrustful? Are they honest? Do they keep their word? Are they open? Are they communicative? Are they doing anything? And then 3, you got to really just think about what you're bringing to the table, and you got to really analyze the situation in a calm, sensible way. So it's not like a one-sided thing. But yeah, sometimes the trust problems are on the person that's distrusting, and sometimes they have a reason to distrust. So I had to add that, because I've seen both sides of the coin with clients. You know what's so funny, guys? I think about this. You ever, you're up at 3 a.m. and random thoughts cross your mind, and you're just like, wow, that is really interesting. This thought comes to my mind sometimes, and it's like, I know so many people's secrets. I know so many people's secrets. People all over the world that don't know each other. They all know me, and I know everything about them. And it's so weird. It's just such a weird feeling to know so many people's lives, so many people's secrets, so many people. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody stuff. I would never do that. I really try to be like a therapist, and a therapist has that, that oath or whatever they take. I don't know what it's called, but like that they're supposed to keep confidentiality. So I don't, I might tell like yeah, the Hippocratic Oath. Yeah. So I try to live by the rule of like being a therapist. So I never blab or tell things. I might say like, oh, this guy felt insecure, or oh, this guy, had, issues, but I never get specific. I never go, well, this guy, I'm going to make up a name. This guy, Ronald McDonald was, his wife cheated on him and left him for the Hamburglar. I'm not going to tell you guys like stories like that, but I will give you like little snippets here and there to help you guys learn. But it's just weird. It's a weird feeling to like be in that situation. And I'm sure there's other careers that have this feeling, but it's just weird. Like I know so many people's like lives and secrets, and like I'm just like one person, but I'm connected to so many people throughout the world. I have clients all over the world. And it's just so weird to think about like how I'm involved in all of their lives. It's just weird. A weird situation. But let's do our April cards. Let's see what's happening for April. What cards do I want to use? Let's get crazy with ourselves. Let's really, do we want to use these cards, these emotional healing cards? Or do we want to use our chakra cards? Let me show you guys what they look like. So we have our emotional healing cards, and we have our chakra cards. They look like this. It's not really a good representation. They look like this. So let me know which cards you guys want me to use for that, what is coming up for you guys in April reading. And I also want to ask you guys another question about relationships, because I think that it's fun to talk and interesting to ponder all these different things. Do you guys believe that it's possible for a cheater to change? Like, so if somebody is a cheater or a player, let's just say a player or a cheater, whatever, somebody who has cheated in the past, do you believe it's possible for them to change? Because I know that a lot of people say like, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. Do you think it's possible for a cheater to fully like change their ways and become loyal? I really want to know what you guys think about this. And, would you trust somebody who was a cheater? Would you date somebody that you knew was like a cheater? Or would you take somebody back that cheated on you in the past and give them another chance? I believe, I'm just going to tell you what I believe. I think that it is a case-by-case basis. I do think there are some people that cheat, and I think that they really have regret about cheating or remorse about cheating. And I think that they cheat because for whatever reason, they're not happy in the relationship, and for myriad of reasons, they cheat. And I think that they can reform, and they can become true, and they can become good people, and like, not good people, because I mean, good people cheat all the time, but they can become loyal, dependable, stable people in a relationship. So I think it is definitely possible for a cheater to change. But I feel like it really depends on the person, and it depends on the connection they have with you, and it depends on where they are in life. So I believe that if somebody is a cheater, they can change, but I think that that's not always the rule. I think it's definitely, though, something that I would do as a case-by-case basis, but I've seen both sides of the coin. Would you guys, if you were in a relationship and they cheated, would you take them back if they came back to you? And what would be your like conditions in order to take them back, if you would take them back? And I think that, I'm going to say here, for me, I would have to really think about why they cheated and what was happening and what the reasons for cheating were. And I would also have to think about what the relationship with them was like in the first place. Like, if the relationship was disrespectful and wasn't loving, and they didn't care, and they were users, and they had all these other problems, and I wasn't happy with them, and they weren't like treating me right, I would definitely never take them back. I probably wouldn't even be with them in the first place. But let's just say, I was giving them a chance. I would definitely not take them back. But if we had a really loving relationship and they were really had a really loving relationship and they just cheated because of some kind of issue or trauma, or they cheated because they just had a negative stress reaction, whatever the case may be, I might consider taking them back, but it would have to be a special circumstance. It wouldn't be the rule, it would be the exception. But I wouldn't say that it was totally off the table, but it would definitely matter the circumstances. A lot of people cheat for various reasons. Sometimes it's self-sabotage. It's like, I have this great relationship. This person's too good for me. I don't deserve to be with this person. I need to sabotage it so that I can, prove to myself that I am a worthless piece of crap. So that's one of the reasons. Sometimes people cheat because they're just not getting what they want from the person they're with, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally. Not everybody cheats because of sex. Sometimes they cheat because they're not emotionally stimulated or they're not mentally stimulated. And, those are reasons for cheating as well. And sometimes they cheat because they just feel like they can get away with it. It's just their culture. It's just their mentality. So there's all different reasons for cheating. I've talked to so many people who cheated on their spouses and girlfriends and boyfriends and everything else. I've listened to so many different cheaters, and there's just a myriad of reasons. And have you ever been cheated on? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been cheated on. It happened to me. I was cheated on, and it was not a fun thing. And I broke up with the person who was cheating on me. I found out they were cheating. And I basically said to them, look, do you want to be with this girl? Go for it, because I'm not going to be with you anymore. I felt like they were cheating because the relationship that we had, I'm just being real personal with you guys, the relationship that we had was kind of on a downward turn. We started off good. Things were really good. It was really nice. And then by this time in the relationship, we'd kind of grown apart a little bit. We were kind of just going through the motions. We were with each other. I think we still had feelings for each other, but there was different circumstances that caused distance between us. And, he, I think, just wanted something that I couldn't give him. And I think that he just wasn't feeling what he wanted to feel, what he used to feel, and which I respect. And so I found out that he cheated, and I was just like, no problem. I get you. I'm not mad at you. I wasn't really mad. I was hurt, but I wasn't mad. And I was just like, okay, we're going to break up. And I think he was kind of surprised. I think he expected me to yell and scream and smack him and, all these crazy things. And I was just really calm. I was talking to him the way I talk to you right now. And I was like, listen, obviously you like her. You're attracted to her. Like, give it a chance. See what happens. This might be your girl. Like, go for it, is what I told him. And I said, you and I can still be friends. But it's not going to work out for us anymore. It was going downhill anyway. Let's just, call it a day. So that's how I handled the cheating situation at that time. But I might be different if the circumstances were different. I don't think that I can say 100% that I would never forgive a cheater. I think that it would really depend on the person, their psychology, their past, what they've been through, and the relationship before the cheating, during the cheating, and after the cheating, and how everything came together. So I'm super curious to hear what you guys have to say on this very, very controversial subject.
Regarding the pick a card, the type of cards to use, Alia suggested the emotional healing cards. And there's a note that came down a little bit further from Diana saying the word code. Regarding the topic of cheating, Diana put in there, you need to be friends first and liking each other is a must. So I have to agree with that 100%. B pointed out if they went through childhood trauma, healing, maybe they will, maybe they can change. And so that's her topic there, or her comment, I should say. Diana, pretty strict, it feels like. Exactly, that's why it's time to walk away. Brianna pointed out that her and her son's father are roommates, and they're just not romantically compatible, and they both know that now. She pointed out also that she's cheated in the past, wasn't happy, but now she's more honest with herself. It's different. So it seems to be a wide spread on there regarding cheating. My input is just to echo what you said, that if somebody's cheating, they're getting something outside of the relationship that they're not getting inside of the relationship.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily isolated to behind closed doors.
Exactly. You're right. And so many times, you guys, I have to say that this happens so many times. The person who I'm talking to who has been cheated on, whether it's a guy or a girl, I've heard it both times. They always go, I don't know why they cheated on me with that person. Like, that person? Why'd they go with that person? They're not even cute. They're not even pretty. They're not even like that. They don't have any, whatever. They'll talk about this other person saying that they're cute. Like, they're going to say about themselves, like, I'm better looking than this person. I make more money than this person. I'm, nicer than this person. I'm cuter than this person, whatever. So they can't believe that somebody cheated on them with that. And I hear that all the time. And it's like, well, listen, that person was giving them something that you were not giving them. It doesn't mean that not everybody cheats because of looks. It's not always about looks. It's very rarely about looks. Occasionally it does happen where somebody will cheat on you because they are with somebody that is better looking or cuter or whatever. That happens. But majority of the reason people cheat is because they're getting something from this person. So even though you think, oh, this person isn't good looking, they're getting something from that person that they need, whether it's validation, whether it's a sexual, connection, a mental connection. A lot of times people cheat because they're feeling mentally unstimulated, and the person they're cheating with, it ignites their passions for, talking and discussing and debating and learning. It's funny as it sounds, that can be a thing, or just that friendship energy, that compassion, whatever it is they feel like they're lacking, they're getting it from this person. Sometimes it could be as simple as enabling a negative behavior. Like, they're cheating on this person because they both drink or they both do drugs together. So that person enables them and gives them that comfort. There's myriad of reasons, but it's definitely not always because that person is going to be better looking. And when they're not better looking, don't think it's all about looks. It's very rarely about looks. And you got to think about this. The most beautiful women and men in the world get cheated on. Halle Berry got cheated on. Beyonce got cheated on. Tons of beautiful men and women who are, gorgeous, successful, amazing people got cheated on. It's not always about like that you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. There a lot of times they're cheating on you because there's something broken in the relationship on a fundamental level that they're feeling that they're not getting from you, and they don't feel like they can communicate with you about it. They don't feel like they can ask you or receive from you what they get. And I think cheating in essence is very selfish. I think if you're going to cheat, that's a selfish kind of thing to do. And I think it's because you're wanting the best of both worlds, or you're feeling trapped that you can't get out of this situation. So you're going to do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better. But again, it's not a black and white situation. There's always different circumstances. But it's definitely interesting to talk about and discuss. So let's do that reading for what to expect in April. And, if you're somebody who was cheated on, just understand that there's lots of different reasons. And, maybe think about what the reasons were and where the relationship was fault. And it may not be your fault. It may be that they had issues with intimacy, or they had issues with fear and, self-sabotage. It may not be that anything was wrong with you. It may be that they had the issue. And if you did cheat on somebody, just know that, hey, we all do things. We all make mistakes. And you don't have to, demonize yourself for it or feel bad about it. Just maybe make the changes in your life that you need to make. And if you're not in a relationship that's happy and you don't feel like you can fix that relationship, then you may need to leave the relationship. So we're going to do... And I know all that is easier said than done. And a lot of times people stay in relationships way longer than they should. So let's talk about what you guys can expect in the month of April. I'm just going to tell you guys right now.
Showers? April showers?
April showers bring May flowers.
Okay, good. So that's what's coming up in April. What else?
My birthday is coming up in April. I'm an Aries.
That explains a lot.
It does explain a lot. It explains so much. It's why I'm so fabulous.
A couple of comments as you're finishing up shuffle regarding the cheating topic. Brianna pointed out that Tyler Perry talks about the 80-20%, something along those lines. B chimed in by saying if they couldn't say I'm going for another person, then it's a cheater issue, not the other person. Diana pointed out, I don't like the word cheating. If you're not married, it's just not the person for you. Wisdom.
Yeah.
Anna pointed out another comment. It was my choice to cheat. He's a wonderful person, but he's just not my person. And Diana validated that.
Yeah.
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 Birthdays like Brianna's daughter, Moon is in Aries.
Aw.
And for those, I think that the full moon is official at 2:48 tomorrow Eastern time. So for those of you on the Eastern board, yeah, look outside at 2:48 in the afternoon. Yeah, okay. Over to you.
Thank you, Eddie. So here's what I would say. I think that, cheating happens. Like I said, you shouldn't blame yourself. Like, you shouldn't beat yourself up. If you're in a relationship and you're not happy, sometimes you don't realize you're unhappy. Sometimes you feel like you can't get out of it, but it's never the right thing to do. It happens, but you need to know if you are cheating, that you may need to think about, doing the right thing and getting out of that relationship. When you're in a committed relationship, whether that's a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, even if it's exclusive, friends with benefits, and you're deciding to be exclusive with each other, once you make a deal with somebody to commit to them, whether you're married or not, whatever commitment you guys decide to, if you cheat, if you go with somebody else, you're breaking that commitment. Now, and also I want to point out, there's different types of cheating. There's physical cheating, there's, sexual, physical cheating. There's also emotional cheating. So many people have emotional affairs that can be, just as impactful as physical cheating and physical affairs. So that's another side of the coin that we didn't even really touch on. But, cheating is cheating. It's definitely not a good thing. But again, it happens. Just understand that it's not a sustainable lifestyle, because whether you're cheating or whether you're the cheater, the mistress, or the mister, or the lover, we'll say, whether you're the cheater, the person that they're cheating with, or the person that's being cheated on, whatever part of the triangle you're in, it's not going to go well for you long term. It's eventually going to go in a negative direction. I mean, again, the unicorn is sometimes the person leaves their person to be with you. It's not always the way it works out usually, but it does happen. But there's always going to be some kind of negativity. It's not the best situation to get yourself into. We're all human. We all get ourselves into messy situations all the time. But, if you're in a relationship and you're cheating, it's not a good relationship. You're not happy. Your needs are not getting met. It's best to just leave that relationship. Even if it makes life messy, it's better to leave and be free to pursue who you want and how you want than it is to put yourself in a situation where you're, not being faithful to the person. If you're not happy, you should just walk out. I know it's not always easy to walk out because sometimes you're financially tied together. Sometimes there's kids involved. But long story short, you need to, if you're not happy, and it's okay not to be happy. We all commit and make mistakes. Sorry, my eyelash is not cooperating. We all make mistakes. If you're not happy, it's okay to move on. So let's give ourselves a nice cleansing breath. Let's get off this topic and get on to what to expect in the month of April. So let's just ground ourselves for a second. Let's just center ourselves. Let's think about the new coming month of April, the April energy, that Aries energy, that Taurus energy, what's going to happen within the month of April, what's happening in our lives. And let's just think about this. This is what you can expect in the month of April, what's coming for you. And let's see what's going to happen. But this is definitely what you can expect in the month of April. So it's deck number 1, a deck number 2, and deck number 3. Deck number 1, 2, and 3. All right, guys, here we go. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for being here with me tonight and indulging all these topics. I think it makes things more fun and interesting when we do this. So let's talk about this. So deck number 1 is, okay, deck number 1, here's what I want to say to you. It's really important that you make a move on the relationship that you want to be part of. Whether you're in the relationship or you're trying to get that relationship started, it's really important that you make a move and make it happen, because you may miss your chance. So if you're wanting to either fix a relationship, start a relationship, or save a relationship, you have to take action. This is, use that Aries energy to help give you that courage. Talk to the person, communicate with them, let them know. You may have to pour your heart out a little bit. You may have to put your heart on your sleeve, but this is something that is going to be happening throughout the month of April. And this can be your turning point. This can be your fresh start. This can be your new start, but you may have to be the one to take action with this relationship to get things moving in the new direction. You may have to take the lead. It may not be the way that you want to do it, but this is what you need to do. And I feel very strongly that if you don't do this, you're going to miss out. So I want to say, this first card, selling out. This is a weird card in this reading. I don't think this is selling out like, being phony or whatever, but I think this is selling yourself short and not being honest and true to your feelings, giving into your fear, giving into your insecurity. This is the time to be bold and to take that risk. This card right here, this soulmate card, these cards are gorgeous. This to me tells me that this connection that you're trying to achieve or trying to be part of is special. And it's something that you need to be open to. So definitely think about that. And this last card is procrastination. Don't wait. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity because you were too patient or too scared or too whatever. This is your time to go for the gusto. All right, guys, deck number 2. Let's see what your April's going to be about. Ooh, this is going to be a really good time for you in April. I feel like you're going to finally start taking care of yourself more, getting a self-care regimen, also working on your health and your well-being. I feel like this is going to be an enlightening time for you with this new Aries energy. I feel like you're going to feel more confident and more worthy of yourself and more appreciative of yourself. I feel like you're going to start to see a lot of improvement and you're going to feel this burst of energy and motivation. So I feel like this is what you need to work on. So first is letting go. Okay, so what you want to do is whatever it is that you have been dealing with, whether you're not feeling comfortable in your whether you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin, whether you're not comfortable in your relationship, your job, whatever it is, you have to start to be open and honest with yourself about it and ask yourself why you allowed yourself to get to this situation, why you allowed yourself to be in this situation, what you were kind of avoiding by keeping yourself in this rut, and being willing to let go of that and let go of any shame or insecurity that you have because of it. The next thing is healing. Focus on healing. April is going to be a good month for you to start a new healing regimen. Like I said, physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Start yourself on a new path. This is what's important for you with this month, and this is where you should, spend your energy. And I feel like you're going to find all sorts of motivation. You're going to find all sorts of help, whether you want to start to see a therapist, whether you want to just start to do it on your own by reading books and stuff like that. But this is definitely a good place to start. And this last thing is beauty. I love this card for you. I'm excited that this card is here because this card tells me that you're going to start to really find the beauty that's within you. You're going to find your voice, your confidence. I want to just say for you, I would try to do some work on your sacral chakra, and I would try to do some work on your solar plexus chakra. I feel like those two in particular, you may need to work on and stimulate and just give yourself a little bit of help with. So there's tons of videos on YouTube. There is tons of like meditations for that. There's tons of ways to stimulate those chakras, wearing orange and yellow or eating orange and yellow foods, surrounding yourself with the color orange and yellow also helps as well. But there's tons of different ways to stimulate that. So, but definitely this month for you is going to be about taking care of yourself, self-care, and self-love and self-appreciation, and getting that new lease on life, and working toward that. So deck number 3, what's going to happen for you in the month of April? Ooh, deck number 3. Deck number 3, you're a badass. Let me just tell you, deck number 3, you are kicking ass and taking names later. You are going to be doing amazing this month. This is going to be your month, baby. You are going to be really coming into your own. This is going to be a time where you're seeing all of the work that you've been doing kind of culminate in a good way. You're going to start to feel more empowered. You're going to start to feel more secure. And I feel like here's what I want to say. There's going to be a showdown of sorts with you and somebody that has been somewhat of like a nemesis. I want to say somebody that has caused you pain, caused you upset. There's going to be a bit of a showdown, and I feel like you're going to end up kind of taking your power back and, restoring that balance of power to yourself, taking your own energy back. I feel like this is going to be a time for you to really come into your own and feel good, feel confident, and, see results and really get to the point where you don't give an F in a good way, in the best way, where you're just like your own kind of spirit animal and you're in a good space. So the first card that I get is this alchemy card. This tells me that you have been working at this for a long time, that you kind of know your stuff, and that you're really like, you're going on a good path. You got this, and you're going to do really well. And you're kind of set up to do really well this month. This next thing, this sexual arts, I feel like this card is about, feeling comfortable in your own skin, feeling confident, feeling secure, feeling like you have the power to stand on your own, take over the world, do what you want to do. And I think that that's, it's this unbridled passion that is just unconstrained. And you're just free-flowing in a really good way. And the next thing that I want to say is this take off your mask, this card right here. This is, again, about kind of sticking up for yourself, taking off your filter, and being completely 100% comfortable in your skin, happy with who you are, and going full throttle in your life. This is going to be a very good month for you, and there's going to be a lot of interesting changes. And I definitely feel that you're probably already starting to feel this. You're probably already in this place, but it's just going to be culminating and growing throughout the month. So this is going to be a really good time for you. And I'm excited. Use that energy to really go forth and be super successful. And, also have that taking power back from the person that has been, frustrating you or upsetting you or holding you back. And that person could be anybody. You know who that person is. They could be alive. They could be deceased. Friend, family, coworker. Take your power back. That is what I have to say. So let us do our last giveaway for the evening. Are you guys ready to do the last giveaway? And then I'm going to let the doctor read me any comments. So if you guys have anything to say, type it now so that he can read it when I get done doing my little giveaway spiel. So far, we've given away 2 giveaways. Jennifer won the first one. Alia won the second one. Let's go forward and give a third giveaway away. So I have a card right here. I'm looking at it right now. Interesting. The first person who correctly identifies this card that I have in my hand is going to win 10 minutes with me. You got to be 18. You got to be subscribed to this channel. And you got to be in the United States. So let's see who's going to win that. Let the answers begin. Let the games begin. Doctor, I remembered. I caught myself. Are there any comments that I need to know about?
Snarf, gargle, blot, snip. I'm sorry, wrong comments. Brianna seems to feel like she's going to be really empowered in the month of April, so she had chose deck number 3. So
that's great.
You go, She-Ra. Let's see. And let's see what else I missed. Diana also picked number 3.
Ooh.
So, yes. And so that's a good thing. Kids Zoo wanted to know when your birthday is.
Kids Zoo, I'm April 3rd. I'm an April 3rd baby. So, I am a Cardinal Aries, I believe. That is what I am. There's three different, so whatever sign you have, whether it's an Aries, Taurus, whatever, there's 3 different aspects. There's cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Cardinal is like the initiator or the one who's like more kind of like out there. Fixed is somebody who's more like stubborn and like they're more set in their ways and more grounded. And mutable is somebody who's more like free flowing and stuff. That I remember. I have not read the book in a while, but that's the basics. So depending on where your sign falls, whether you're an early, whatever it is, I'll just use Cancer. Whether you're an early Cancer, a middle Cancer, or a late Cancer, it's either going to be cardinal, fixed, or mutable. And so that is the type of Cancer you are. And each sign has different stages and different elements. That's why you may have 2 Cancers or 2, Leos or whatever. And they may be different. It's partially where their sign falls, but it's also, where their moon is and all that other stuff. Astrology is a complex thing. And do you guys want to do next Sunday, talk about moon signs and what your moon sign is? Does everybody know what their moon sign is? I'm just curious. My moon's in Capricorn.
Scorpio.
Yeah, I know your moon's in Scorpio. Doctor, you're a Scorpio moon. I'm a Capricorn moon. Anybody else know what their moon is? Diana, I think your moon.
We have a winner.
Who won?
Congratulations, Alia.
Alia, oh girl, you won 20 minutes. Bam, justice. Justice is served. Anyway, congratulations, Alia. You won 20 minutes.
I thought my moon was in annoying.
Annoying?
Isn't that one of the signs?
No.
Oh, I'm reading something else.
Annoying. Your moon is your true self, your inside self. So your sun sign is your outer self, the self that people think you are, the self that people see. When they think of you, they think of your outer self. Your moon sign is who you really are, the inside, that inside part of you. So on the outside, I'm an Aries, and I'm very Aries-ish. But on the inside, I'm a Capricorn, which is, I think I have that Capricorn energy. I'm extremely hardworking, and I tend to be a bit of a workaholic, and I tend to not always be the best communicator, although I'm trying to improve on that. But so your moon sign is going to reveal a lot about you. There are moon sign calculators. So if you just go on Google and type in like moon sign calculator, there'll be a bunch of different ones. Find one that's like easy to use. Sometimes they're hard to use and they're like really complicated and they don't work very well. So look for one that like works well and that you feel comfortable with. And then you put in your birthday, and then they'll tell you like what moon sign you are. And they usually tell you a little bit about it. Like, oh, moon in Pisces, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's really interesting when somebody has a sun sign and a moon sign that is the same. I feel like that person is like so like rooted in their sign. Like that's who they are on the inside, the outside. I think that's really interesting when that happens. So very, very interesting stuff. I love moon signs. Doctor, how much time do we have left in the show?
You have about 20 minutes left in this week's broadcast.
Thank you. I am not good at concepting time. I will think like 5 minutes went by and it'll be like an hour. I'm terrible at that. I get so wrapped up in whatever I'm doing. We're going to do another pick a card reading. I'm trying to think about what I want it to be about. Let's do it about what? Let me know if you guys have any ideas. I'm trying to think of a good idea. Let's do it about what your... I know, this is going to be a little weird, but let's do it about what your coworkers are thinking about you. I think this could be very interesting. Now, keep in mind, coworkers are a big group of people, and some people may love you, some people may not. So, we're trying to zoom in on maybe a specific coworker. So, think about a coworker of yours, and I'm going to tell you what they think of you. Try not to focus on everybody in the office. Pick one person, and we're going to see what this coworker could be. Your boss, could be your equal. If you're not employed at this time, then that's fine. Think about a friend of yours if you want to, or you can think about a former coworker and what they thought of you. I think that these are very interesting things to think. So let us see what your coworkers think of you. I think this is an interesting thing to do. This is a question I get a ton of times. What my coworkers think of me. I don't really have any coworkers. Well, I guess I do have coworkers. I don't really, I have clients. Doctor, you're my coworker right now. Let's see.
Great. Make me the guinea pig for the reason. Okay.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just putting you on the spot. Don't worry. But anyway, just think about a coworker. It could be from the present, could be from the past. It doesn't matter. Get that coworker in your mind. Imagine them. Hear their voice. Get their face in your mind. Feel their energy. Think about them and choose your card. Okay? So this is deck number 1. This is deck number 2. And this is deck number 3. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see what your coworkers think of you. Here we go. Deck number 1. Ooh. Here's what I want to say, deck number 1. I feel like your coworkers don't get you and don't understand you. They feel like you are not connecting with them, like you're off in your own little world. I feel like your coworker, I'm not going to say coworkers because your coworker, whoever it is you're thinking about, they basically wanted to get closer to you. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like they were kind of gossipy and nosy. So their wanting to get close to you wasn't really about like genuine. I mean, a little bit it was about friendship, but it was also just about nosiness. Like, oh, what are they up to? And, what kind of competition are they? So I feel like they saw you as very guarded, very reserved, kind of unfriendly. They saw you as somebody who just wasn't engaging and wasn't trying to connect. And I feel like that bothered them because they were more social and they were just more talkative. And I feel like they didn't like that. They wanted to have more interaction with you and they were upset that they couldn't. And so that was what they were thinking about you and they were not happy about it. So that is that. So next we're going to talk about deck number 2 and what your coworker thinks about you. I want to say that they were jealous of you. And sometimes jealousy is a compliment. Jealousy isn't always like completely a negative emotion. Maybe I want to almost say not jealousy, but like envious, or they admired you. They saw you as somebody who just always looked like you have it together. They saw you as somebody that was like happy and positive and successful, and they liked you. And I feel like they almost wanted to be like you. They didn't think that they were able to be like you. And I feel like they wanted to be closer to you, but they were afraid of rejection. And I feel like they may have been very distant and maybe unfriendly, but I feel like it's because they weren't happy with who they were. They weren't comfortable with who they were. They were kind of stuck in their own rut. I almost feel like it's like they admired you and they wanted to be like you, but there's also this part of them that felt a little like jealous, like people were gonna like you more than they like them. They could never compete with you. That's kind of the feeling that I get. It's like this weird admiration and envy at the same time. They were going through a lot of stuff in their life and they're very insecure and conflicted, and so don't take it personally, but that's what's going on now. Deck number 3. Okay. Deck number 3, we need to have a conversation. First of all, don't shoot the messenger. Whatever I'm about to say is not my opinion. It is the opinion of your coworker, so it is not my fault. It is what they think about you, and just because they think about you doesn't mean it's true. I'm just going to give you the message. So just take it as you get it. You can do with it as you please, but just understand that it's not my opinion. It's the opinion of the coworker, and it doesn't mean that it's an accurate, true opinion. It is just their opinion. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Here we go. Let's do this. Deck number 3. They felt they weren't really crazy about working with you. They felt that you were kind of a complainer and a little difficult to work with. They felt like you didn't hold up your end of the bargain, and they felt like you were kind of a complainer, and they also felt like you didn't know what you were doing, like you were lost or confused, and that's kind of the sense that I get. I feel like they saw potential in you, and they thought like that you could get better over time. So it's not like it was completely bad, but I feel like they kind of felt like you were confused and lost and complained a lot and felt that it was kind of challenging and difficult to work with you, but they did see potential that you could get better. They just weren't sure like if it was going to happen, but they felt like the potential was definitely there. And I feel like they kind of felt like you were a little bit of like a defeated attitude, like instead of trying harder, instead of trying to find other ways to learn or do, you just kind of gave up. That's the sense that I get. So I apologize, deck number 3. Just because that's how they feel doesn't mean it's true. You are the only one who knows in your heart if what they're saying is true or not. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, because we all have different perceptions. Perception is reality. And so, they may see things in one way and that doesn't mean it's true. So there you go. Don't shoot the messenger. I feel bad when I give you guys bad news. Sometimes it's hard to I think that when I'm working one-on-one with a client, it's a little easier because I can read their energy. I can know how to communicate with them, and I can kind of, give them bad news, but do it in a way that they can handle. And I feel like in this situation, when I'm reading, just generally, I'm a little bit more, I guess, blunt or a little bit more sharp. And so just understand that it's not, you only know if this stuff is true of yourself. And if it is, then, you just got to learn to improve on some of these things. We all make mistakes, and it's hard to take criticism. It really is hard to take criticism. I've had to take criticism a lot in my life, and it sucks, but it does help you grow more, and it helps you improve. So that is that, guys. Let's
got
change.
a question for you.
Yeah.
You have a new person who chimed in and is into the show this evening, and they had a question, and B also presented a topic. If you have enough time to do another quick, maybe pick a card.
Sure.
Can you pull a reconciliation card? I think that's more like a yes/no for a reconciliation. And B, what platonic person may be thinking or feeling about you? So I'll let you decide. I think the reconciliation is a topic somebody would like.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's do a reconciliation. I think we should definitely do that. I'm definitely down for that. So here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be a yes or no pick a card. That's how we're going to do this because not everybody here is wondering about reconciliation. So what we're going to do is a yes or no pick a card, and we're going to put that out there, and you, the person who wants to know about reconciliation, you're going to say, are we going to reconcile? And that is going to be a yes or no. And so we're going to see. Now, if more people want a specific reconciliation reading and a lot of people vote for it, then I'll do that. But right at this point, I'm just going to do this as a yes or no, guys. So that's how we're going to do. That's how we're going to do. I'm going to use these Spellcaster Oracle cards because I want to. Can't stop me. I'm in charge of the cards we use. And let's see what happens with that. So think about your question, and this is a yes or no. So the question that you're going to answer is either going to have a yes or no answer to it. So here we go, guys.
You have 10 minutes left. You can pull it off and do one more. I have faith in you.
There's so much pressure right now, and I don't know if I can handle it. All right, guys. Sorry these cards look super duper funky. All right, here we go. So this is a yes or no pick a card. This is your question. Yes or no. Get your question in your mind. Okay. Deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. Get your question in your mind and choose your card. Deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Deck number 2 is a yes. See this tree? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is a yes. Whatever it is you want to know, it's a yes. It is growing. It is taking roots. It is becoming real. It is taking shape. It is happening. This is definitely a 100% yes card. So whatever your question is, the answer is yes. Deck number 2. Deck number 2, I want to say to you that the answer is no. Here's what I'm getting. This card came up. It's this dream card. This card means that what you're wanting and what you're looking for is not really what's in your best interest, and it's not really the direction that you need to go in. You may be over fantasizing this, whatever it is. You may be thinking about it on a very two-dimensional term and not really thinking about it with depth. So even though this is something that you may want, it's definitely going to be a no. I'm sorry, but I don't see that as a yes. I feel like it's like you're barking up the wrong tree and you got to think about finding another way. You're just going down the wrong place. Deck number 3, this is a yes card. This card, this inspiration card, honestly, I'm saying this is a yes because this is like fire right here. This is fire, and fire is energy. Fire is igniting and starting and, growing and burning. And so this is definitely a yes card. So we have a yes, no, yes. That's how it went. So yes, no, yes. So this is definitely a yes card. So whatever question you ask, the answer is yes. And there we go. That is the yes, no, pick a card. And now we're going to do the doctor has challenged. What'd you say?
What is a platonic person thinking or feeling about you? That's the
platonic person. All right. Let's use these cards. The doctor has challenged me, and I must do the challenge. So we're going to use these little baby fairy cards because they're just cute, and I haven't used them yet. I'm going to shuffle these little bastards and see what happens. So this is about what a platonic person in your life is thinking about you. So think about a platonic person in your life. It could be anybody. Somebody that you are platonic with. Now, platonic could be somebody that you are just completely platonic with and you have no interest in ever taking it past being platonic. Or it could be somebody that you're platonic with and maybe you want to be more than platonic with them. And so you want to know if that's going to happen. So it could be either way. Think about what you want. How many minutes do I have left?
6.
6 minutes. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do this. We're going to do it. Okay. Oh, the pressure is on. Let's do this. All right. All right, guys. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so we have our, what is your platonic person thinking about you? Here are the cards. So we got, just trying to make sure you guys can see them. Deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3. Think about your platonic person and what they're thinking about you. Imagine them, hear their voice, see their face. Deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3. Let's see what is going on with your person. Okay. Deck number 1, platonic person. Ooh, deck number 1, platonic person. They have feelings for you. Though I have to say, I feel like they have feelings for you, but I don't feel like they feel like they can be with you. So maybe they're with somebody else right now. Perhaps they just don't feel like they're ready for a relationship right now. Maybe they're scared, but I definitely feel like they have feelings for you. And I feel like even though they're not in the right place to be with you right now, I feel eventually it will become more than friends. So get yourself ready for that. It may not be for a while. It may be like a year or so, but they are definitely feeling the love for you. There's complications in their life that are keeping them back. Deck number 2, we got to go fast. I can't talk too much. Ugh. Okay. Deck number 2, here's what I get. I don't feel like this person appreciates you. I'm going to start out with that. I feel like they are so used to you being there for them that they kind of take you for granted. I feel like they care about you. Let me take that back. I feel like they love you for what you can do for them. And I feel like they want you in their life because you're good to them. And I feel like that is definitely there. But I don't feel like they think a lot about what you need or what's going to make you happy. It's all about like you being there for them. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is the best situation. I'm not saying that you have to kick them out of your life, but I would start to draw some boundaries and I would start to not be there for them as much as you are, because I feel like they're kind of seeing you as a safe haven and a good person and a touchstone and stability. But I think it's more about what you can give to them, less about what they can give to you. So either start asking more of them and putting them to the test and showing them that they need to respect you, drawing some boundaries. You got to make some changes or let this person go because it's not going in a good direction. Deck number 3. We're going to do this. Ooh, deck number 3, deck number 3. Deck number 3. I feel like they're not sure if they want to keep you in their life, deck number 3. I feel like they don't trust you. They feel like you're not true. They're not, like you're hiding something from them. Like you're not being honest with them. And they're not trusting you. So I'm getting this lady right here. And this is showing me like that they're basically just not feeling a lot of trust for you. They're feeling like you're not being your true authentic self. This snake is coming up here, which means that they feel like you're keeping secrets, lying to them. And I think other people may be telling them stuff about you that they're believing. So just, you got to think about either fixing that, addressing that. And then this crossroads is them really thinking about whether or not they want you in their life. I really feel like there's a solid distrust going on. And if you want this person to be in your life and you feel like you're being, kind of screwed over by somebody, or that somebody is lying on you and telling lies to this person, you need to address this right away. And if you feel like there's some kind of friction or problem with this person, then you need to address that right away. Either way, you need to talk to them about this. But they do not trust you, and they really feel like they don't know if you're telling the truth and where you're coming from and what your intentions are. So it's not the best thing. It's like they want to like you, they just don't trust you. So that is something you have to decide whether you want to fix or just get them out of your life. That is it. How many minutes do I have left?
You have 2 minutes left to wind this down.
I did it. That was nerve-wracking.
That was impressive.
Was it? Thank you. Did I talk too fast for you guys? I felt like I was like... Blah, 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 blah.
No, I got it.
Cool.
I guess everybody else did, I'm assuming.
Hopefully. All right, guys. So here's what I want to say to you guys. I love you all. I appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight. I really enjoyed this show. I really enjoyed the topics. Do you guys want to do more topics like this in these shows? Do you want to talk about interesting random things, stuff like that? Are you interested in that? I'm going to have a new show on on Wednesday with a fun meditation. And that meditation is going to be a fairy adventure. So if you want to join me on Wednesday and have a fairy adventure with me, then make sure you tune in at 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening for that fun meditation. And some other fun readings. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm sending you into this week with love and joy and laughter. I'm sending you into April with love and joy and laughter. And use this full moon to cleanse all your goods. And that's pretty much it. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. Anybody who want a reading, get in contact with me. If you're still here, Krabs, Mr. Krabs, I will get in contact with you. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you so much, the doctor, for coming and helping me out and being so good at being my little second in command.
Your helper, it's my honor to serve. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, honey. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I love you, and I will see you next Wednesday for our fairy adventure. All right, guys. Take care.